Perfect. Perfect.
Hi there and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to show you a submission and a position from side control. It's called the Crucifix from side control, not to be confused with the Crucifix from back control. Helping me out today is Storm, one of my oldest students. Storm actually managed to pull this off in competition in gi, though it was in gi. The submission we're going to show later from this Crucifix position. Let's just get to it. I hope you enjoy. Oes. Okay, so we're going to start off in side control. Now, the important thing is going to be, we have to separate this arm to get to the position. So we could work our way from kesagatami, where I have Storm's arm right in front of me, and I can just peel it off, step over and go to the position. We also have a variation to get here from the scarf hold position we covered a while ago. I'm going to put a link from the video up, but we're going to do a setup from side control first. So we're in normal side control. My knees are wide, so it's high on his head, high on his hip. So I prevent his arm from coming in and escaping. And I like to cup the armpit here, pull Storm in, put some shoulder pressure, to maintain a good position. Now, I want to get my left knee on top of his chest, or on top of his shoulder here, to separate his arm with my legs. So it's going to be like a reverse knee on belly. So in order to do so, I'm going to close the gable grip. I'm going to keep shoulder pressure. I'm going to be high on my side control. I'm going to keep a lot of pressure here, and I'm going to bring my left knee back down and pop it up as I go to my right leg and get my left knee high on top of his shoulder. Now, even if he closes his arms and tries to keep his arm tight, I'm going to slide my knee, lift my shoulder, and slide it here down to the mat, like this. My right knee is going to touch his armpit, and I'm going to windshield wiper my leg over, curl it, and collect his arm. To end up in the position. So once again, we're in basic side control. I like to pull Storm in and keep him very tight in a high side control. I need to get my left knee up. I'm not going to give him space and get my left knee in because he's going to escape in a matter of seconds. So I want to drag my knee down to his body. I keep leaning forward, putting shoulder pressure. I'm going to bump up to my left knee right on top of his shoulder here. My right leg, I'm either going to base out or I'm going to keep my knee real close to his ribs. I'm going to push my knee down to the mat as I curl and push my shoulder into his throat. Now, as soon as my knee touches the mat, I'm going to slide my shin on top of Storm's biceps. My right knee is going to join in his armpit, and I'm going to make a windshield motion with my left shin over and curling back to collect his arm, step through, and close a triangle here. It doesn't have to necessarily be a triangle because it leaves some space. I could just cross my ankles here and squeeze my knees together, trapping his arm inside of my legs. The underhook, that's on the other side, is going to collect his arm, and we're just going to chill here to end up in the crucifix position from side control. So let's check it out from a slightly different angle so you can see the right leg. So we're here, side control. My knees are wide, my posture is low, and I'm putting shoulder pressure on top of Storm. So usually I want to pop up to my right knee if I want to go to knee on belly and go this way. So in this case, we're going to use the other leg. I'm going to be like a reverse knee on belly. I'm going to slide down, get my knees together, pop up, and bring my knee to his ribs and slide my other knee down as I lift his head, like this. Now the switching of the legs, the windshield wiper has to be kind of a fast transition where I switch over and curl back to collect his forearm. So I'm going to join my knees in his armpit, windshield wiper, curl back, and as I curl my left leg back, I'm going to kick my right leg through and go to my right hip and close to get to the position. Now, important from this position is that I squeeze Storm's arm, so I make it hard for him to go to that side. Even if I lose the underhook, the arm prevents Storm from actually going to my back. So we end up in the position. Now to maintain the position, what's very important is that I keep a good posture. So my underhook is here. I can either collect his arm like this, or I can just keep it on the mat and keep my shoulder in front of him. What's important is I don't get reversed backwards. So if Storm tries to bump me forwards, I can just post and have pressure here. If he tries to throw me over that side, he has to get all of my weight over, and that's pretty hard. Yeah? If he wants to go that side, obviously my legs are here, and I can just cross face. Yeah? Every time he starts lifting me backwards, and he gets his hand in front of me, he pushes me backwards, that's when I lose the position. So to prevent that from happening, I'm gonna stay really tight on Storm, and as soon as I feel him trying to push me back, yeah, let's go. I'm just gonna cross face and bend his neck. So try pushing now, making it very hard. So we're still looking at the mechanics of controlling the crucifix from side control. I wanna keep squeezing my knees together, and I never wanna let go of this arm, because if he pulls it out, I just lost the position and we're back in Kesagatami. So I wanna keep the arm. If I feel I'm losing Storm inch by inch, I'm just gonna cup his shoulder, slide through, and close again. Yeah? I'm gonna look at different submissions later on, but in the meantime, I'm always focused on not losing the position. So I keep it close and tight. Every time I feel I'm losing the shoulder, I'm just gonna cup it, slide in, and regain my position. Okay, so I'm gonna keep a low base here. I can always post. If he tries to roll me over that way, I can just post. If he tries to throw me backwards, that's the only direction I don't have a solid base. So in order to prevent that, if he goes backwards, I'm not gonna lean back, because he might just win this, especially Storm, because he's kind of strong. I don't want to cross face and bend his spine. So he tries to reverse me back. I'm just cross facing here. Okay? So we have a setup from a tight side control. There's different ways to get to this position. We covered the scaffold submission system a while ago, yeah, where we get into attacks from a Kesagatami without the underhook, the scaffold. Every time we can attack the arm with our Americana, arm bars. And if we go to the armbar, we could always switch. And now we're in the now we're in the crucifix position without the underhook. As long as I keep his arm trapped, it's hard for him to go to my back, and I can switch back to my underhook and get back to the crucifix position. From the crucifix, I can switch back and go back to the scaffold submission and attack the arm again or the chokes. So those two, yeah, there's a nice transition between those two systems. Now there's different ways to get to the position before we look at the submission. So the first one, in my opinion, the tightest one is the setup from side control. But sometimes you get lucky, you're just playing Kesagatami, you can just peel the arm off and step over. Sometimes we're playing knee shield maybe, or passing and working towards the underhook, and he tries to grab my leg or anything, I can just lift his arm, slide under, and get to the position. But at those times, it's easy to get to position. I find it better to train from side control and get a tight setup. So last time, side control, wide base, keep my shoulder pressure, yeah, pull Storm towards me, keep my chin low, lean a bit in, don't overcommit, because he will get a reversal. So lean in, switch, get my knee up, and sit down. Get my other knee towards his armpit, slide, windshield wiper, and switch both legs, collect, and lean back in. Get the underhook, either on your head or high on your neck, and keep leaning forward so you can post. Yeah, you can always cross face. As soon as he starts to reverse you that way, cross face his neck, collect. Okay, so that's a position of control. Now look at some submissions from the position. So the first one we want to look at is as soon as we get to the crucifix position, yeah, I get my posture low, I keep the underhook, I keep a low base, and I'm always ready to cross face, push him down, and I'm just waiting for the opportunity of attack on his left arm. Anytime he gets the left arm in front of my face, and he wants to push me off, either to bring his legs into the game, or to just reverse me or get some space, that's when I start attacking this hand. So the first thing I'm gonna do as soon as the hand comes in front of my face is I'm not gonna reach back and try and grab it, because you see my posture is already broken. So as soon as the hand comes, I wanna push it down with my head. Then my hand enters, grab the wrist, and the hand, that's the underhook, just going to collect. My elbow goes in, and we can finish off with a normal Americana. If you haven't seen our basic Americana from top position submission series video, as soon as I get the Americana, I like to do a reverse revving with my wrist. Because if Storm stretches his arm now, that's where I lose the Americana. So as soon as I get my grip, I turn my wrist in. If you want to stretch your arm now, please. That's where I get the position. Now I slowly bring his elbow towards his body as I keep pressure with my legs to completely stretch Storm out and twist and get the Americana. Be aware that it's hard for your partner to tap in this position. So they usually get a verbal tap or slam their feet or anything with this free hand. Yeah, and go for the Americana. As long as Storm's arm is behind me, I'm never gonna reach for the Americana. It's gonna be pretty hard, I'm gonna lose my position. So I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna put some pressure on him, yeah? And as soon as that arm comes in front to work, I'm gonna grab it, or if I'm a little bit late, I'm gonna first use my head and push it back, get the wrist, go down, and as soon as I get his wrist, I first twist. Look at his arm positioning. So from this Americana, it's easy for him to stretch. From this Americana, I'm going to reverse rev, get my elbow in front of his face, keep my legs tight, and now turn and lift my elbow, yeah? If they are a little bit more nimble in the shoulders or flexible, we could go way higher, bring the elbow towards the body, and rotate for a normal Americana finish. So in case you forgot the reverse revving or it's just fast or strong and he does extend the arm, keeping a control of this arm gives me the opportunity to lean a bit forward, grab his wrist, go for figure four, and make an armbar on his elbow here. So make a figure four, lift this arm and get the armbar. So I gotta be a bit careful here. If Storm underhooks my butt and tries to throw me over here as I go for the armbar, and I just lose the position. So I keep my weight distributed to this side, where I control him. As I go for the Americana, he stretches his arm, I collect the armbar, and I lean down. Then I just lift my right elbow for the armbar, yeah? My lower body, so my hips, they don't completely come over, because this makes it very easy for Storm to throw me over, and it's not worth it for the armbar. Then if in this case the armbar's not working, or he keeps twisting his arm, I just go back to the position and try again. So the Americana is the first and easiest submission from the position. Now we're gonna look at one more submission, maybe two, depending on his arm positioning. So if Storm keeps his arm behind me or across my neck, here, tries to keep me close, I don't mind, I wanna be close to him, so that's okay. If I feel his arm is relaxed here, I could always opt and try to catch the wrist and go for a wrist lock here by just squeezing, but it's not that high percentage. So we're gonna look next to a choke. Now realize every time I'm in Kesagatami, in a normal position, each time I get the underhook out, I risk Storm going to my back. Boom. So in the scaffold submission system, we covered preventing that with a very tight position here, but usually I tend to stay with the underhook. Now, things change when we get to this crucifix position, because as long as I control his arm, I could, it's not optimal, but I could extract my arm, and still it's kind of hard for Storm to go to my back because this arm is trapped. So it's pretty easy as soon as he goes for the back to just maintain the position. Okay? So that opens up another choke for me. As long as his arm is behind me and I can go for the Americana, I'm going to get underneath his head, and this hand is going to insert on his shoulder here. I'm going to close the gable grip and I'm going to push off and slide my arm through. Now when I get to this position, I have two options. I could insert my fist here, grab my forearm, squeeze my shoulder low, and go for Ezekiel on the cross side. Or as soon as I slide through, I switch and I go for the Ezekiel on this side where I have a bit more body pressure because my body and my weight is on the left side, on Storm's right side. So here, lean in and squeeze for the Ezekiel. So we're in the crucifix position here. We maintain pressure of this arm. We could try work towards the wrist lock here, or just keep the position here. We're always ready to cross face him or post as soon as he tries to revert the position. Usually they're gonna get the arm in at some point they're gonna use the arm. As soon as he goes, I'm gonna grab, get my elbow in, twist my wrist and attack the Americana, which is the easiest submission from here. I could also switch my grips, as we've shown in the basic Americana video, grab his hat and twist it over here, yeah, for a very sneaky Americana setup. If he keeps his arm high, now first off, if you don't get the Americana, if you don't get the arm, yeah, then it's okay, because you're in a dominant position. So don't let go of this position and try to peel his arm off, yeah? If he stays here, he's not escaping. So I'm just gonna lean here and make his life miserable. Now this hand is underneath. I'm always ready to cross face him. So if he starts reverting me now, I'm just gonna use my shoulder here. So if we're here posting and he starts reverting me back, or the Americana, or cross face here. And if we're already here, just use your shoulder. Now, if he keeps the arm tight, we're gonna get this arm in, and you don't have to be super paranoia if you're gonna risk losing the underhook, because you control his arm. I'm gonna get this on his shoulder tendon, cut it down, get the gable grip and just slide it down on the tendon. Go through, switch, and go for the Ezekiel on this side. So there you have it, a basic setup to the crucifix position from side control, where we use a reverse knee on belly and a windshield wiper motion to switch, collect his arms, and put him in the position. Yeah? Some transitions coming from the scaffold submission system, or maybe from a passing scenario where I get to collect his arm, or from a basic kasekatami, and then some basic fundamentals of keeping the position, so trying to prevent his reversal, trying to prevent his escapes, attacking the Americana eventually, or attacking an Ezekiel choke from that position. Thank you so much for watching. Storm, thank you so much for helping me out, and see you guys in the next video. Ois.